I've done a lot of topic on this my channel about real estate companies here in Lagos, scams by real estate companies, clauses by real estate companies, terms and conditions by real estate companies, refund policies of real estate companies. And recently, I constantly deal with real estate companies anyway. So I realized that some clauses and some terms a lot of real estate companies are also putting in their contracts are now being tricky. So I feel, okay, let me do a video about that to educate a lot of you guys, because I know a lot of you guys are constantly investing, constantly buying, even though some of these properties are not for me, but I know that you are definitely patronizing a lot of these real estate companies. So at least you should know what to look out for. Either you are buying from me or you are buying from any realtor. So clauses that you should look out for when you are buying from a real estate company, particularly in their contract. So I'm talking about a couple of 4 or 5 of these clauses, and so that you know what to look out for when you are going to a real estate contract, and then the interpretation of these clauses. Now, in case you are coming across a video like this for the first time, please meet the Property channel, and later we discuss everything in real estate for those who want to invest, those who are investing, and those who have invested in Lagos real estate market here in Nigeria. I will share tips, guides, and advice what to look out for: locations, neighborhood, return on investment, risk, scam, fraud, everything related about real estate that you must understand when you are investing and also before you invest. So let's go into the topic: clauses by real estate companies which you must look out for in their contract. Now, the first clause that you should look out for is to be determined later. Personally, I'm not a fan of any real estate project or any real estate company that is setting to be determined later on any of their charges. I like being transparent and to be as straightforward with my investors as possible. This property is 4 million, all inclusive is 6 million. So my investors know that, okay, if I'm buying this property, 6 million, I collect my land, I collect my property. But when it comes to, okay, the deed is so amount, the survey is so amount, and then the development levy is to be determined later, I'm always cautious. And you should also be cautious about this particular fact too. The first question you'll be asking is, okay, if you guys are determining or are setting a later date to determine the development levy, for example, if I pay for the land, I pay for the survey, and I pay for the deed, are you guys going to give me a physical allocation of my property? Because simply because you guys are not determining the development levy doesn't mean that you are going to hold me on ransom. I pay for the land, I should get my land. If you guys are not doing your homework to state a particular charge or a particular fee for the development levy, that should be your cup of tea. So that's why you should be very, very cautious and very, very curious about any fee that the company are charging and they are telling you is going to be determined later. Even some set to be determined later to their service charge. That, okay, when I move into this estate, what will be the service charge? And yeah, okay, we are going to be determine that later. It's not really bad for service charge, actually. It's not really bad, because it's going to be a lot tough and a lot difficult for a lot of estates to state the amount they be charging as service charge when the estate is not fully occupied. Because if the estate is occupied by little residents, the service charge will be too high, because it's only few people that are paying. So a lot of them always prefer to wait for the estate to be fully occupied so that they can spread the amount evenly across everyone, and the service charge can be lower. But for the development levy, I really don't buy that idea. And a couple of companies are really embracing that tactics by setting to be determined later to their development levy. To me, I just feel that these companies just want to squeeze in and get more from investors in the long run, because number one, they're not willing to develop that land right now, and when people have collected their land and the company is ready for development, they don't want to develop with their own money, so they only develop with clients' money. Development that might cost 1.5 million naira right now, it's 4 years time they are now ready, they'll be charging you maybe 3.5 or 3 million naira for the development levy. So be cautious of that. To be determined later, anything that is to be determined later, our advice, you try as much as possible to negotiate it. only buy when you are fully fine with whatever amount the company might be charging you later. Trust me, they're going to charge you amount that you're not going to be fine with. So that's the first clause that you have to look out for. Now the second clause that you have to look out for is any clause that the company are putting in their contract and are putting in there that subject to review. Subject to review. So they tell you that they are going to pay for development levy, they put it there, subject to review. They put it there that they are going to pay for survey, and then they put it there, subject to review. They put it there that they are going to pay for deed, and then in funds they put it subject to review. There was this contract I was going to recently, and I saw it, subject to review, subject to, I was like, damn, this is trouble. Because what that's basically telling you is this amount is what we are charging currently. If you delay it and you don't pay it currently and you are coming 2 years time, okay, I have land with you guys, I want to pay for my survey, I want to pay for my development levy, they are going to be charging you based on the current rate at that time. So the survey that is 400k right now, at that time maybe 700k, and you have to pay that 700k in 2 years. The development levy is 1.5 million naira right now. If you don't pay it right now, and it's 2 years time that you came back to that, okay, I want to pay for the development levy, I want to collect my land. The development levy then might have been 2.5 million, and they're going to pay it because in the contract of sale they already stated it there that it is subject to review. Which is one of the reasons why I always tell you guys, investors, please, when you are buying property, don't delay the other fees. Again, please, don't delay the other fees. Pay for the land, clear it off, 3 months, 2 months after, clear the other fees. Get your land. Know that it's the company that is owing you, not it's you that is owing the company. Because the more you are owing these real estate companies, hey, the more they are going to give you stories. The more they will push you to locations that you don't want. They will allocate you to another location, or they start telling you that the survey is not so amount again, the deed is not so amount. But once you clear it off as fast as possible, you clear off those headaches and those challenges are not there. It's very important. Whenever you are buying these properties, always ask the realtors what are the ancillary fees. Is it all inclusive? Okay, it's not all inclusive. What are the ancillary fees? 400k for this, 700k for this, 1 million for this, 2 million other fees. Yes, you know. You pay for the land, you sell as much as possible, gather the money, be selling it for 500k, 200k, clear off the other fees. No stories. But when they are putting it in the contract already that so fees, so charges are subject to review, and you delay it, trust me, you don't have a choice, you can't win them. But they have put it in the contract already that it is subject to review, and you have to pay it. That's just it. Now another very important clause that you have to look out for is the default charges. Now for a lot of companies, they offer payment plans. You can pay within 3 months, you can pay within 6 months, you can pay within 9 months, you can pay within 12 months or 18 months, as the case might be, depending on the company. And after the deposit, they are going to give you a contract of sale which talks about the terms and agreements, terms and conditions between both of you guys. Most importantly, they don't do the mistake, they always put it, the default charges if you don't meet up with the payment. So depending on the negotiation, you guys' agreement, the payments can be monthly over the 3 months that you want to spread, over the 6 months that you want to spread, and then the payment might be every 2 months, might be every 3 months, depending on how you guys negotiate. Now most real estate companies are going to include a default clause or a default charge that, okay, you are paying within 3 months. If you don't meet up within 3 months, this is what we are going to charge you as default. Either it's an interest or a termination. So they're going to tell you that, okay, you are supposed to pay within 3 months. If you don't pay within 3 months and by the 5th month you could not complete the payment of that property, we are going to terminate the contract and refund you your money, which means that you don't have a property with us. And some will tell you that, okay, you have to complete payment within 3 months. By the 6th month, you have not completed your payment, we are going to charge you 10% extra, 20% extra, so amount extra. So you have to be clear and familiar with this default clause. See, there's some transaction myself have done, and then I end up in trouble with my investors because At times investors will go into these properties with payment plan and feel like, okay, let me just pay a deposit and then I can pay the rest as I like. You can't pay as you like. If you pay as you like, the companies are also going to give you issues when you want to get your land or get your property. You must follow it. Must. See, if you pay this month and 2 months later you not pay, they know. The companies, they may not send you a mail, they may not communicate with you, but the companies, they know. And when it's time to deliver your project to you, they also show you shiggy. So that's why, if you know that, okay, this property I can't afford 6 months, is 12 months I can afford, go for the 12-month installment. Okay, this property I only have the deposit with me, but I don't know, I still have some funds I'm expecting, it's not too clear or anything. Our advice, don't gamble with the investments, don't gamble with starting at all. Because once you pay a deposit, if you want that money back, they will remove 30% or 40%. That's even if they are going to refund. And if they are not going to refund, they're going to tell you that you should go and find someone else that's going to buy that property. Pay the same amount that you have paid before they give you back your money. So for in a lot of scenarios, it doesn't even really worth it for you to get yourself into those challenges or those troubles. So that's why you must always go through the default clause. What's going to happen if I don't meet up in 2 months? What's going to happen if I don't pay in a month? What's going to happen if I don't pay in 6 months? What is going to happen if I can't complete this payment at the end of 12 months? So that you know what to prepare your mind against, and also how to negotiate some of these clauses. Now, the fourth clause that you need to look out for when you are signing or going through this contract are the indemnity clause. Now, the indemnity clause really refers to the part where the company are giving you assurance that this property that you are selling to you is legit. If there's any issue with this property when you are paying or after you have paid, the company will be held responsible, and then they are going to replace that property for you. Likely, if it's a house, maybe replace some fittings for you. And if the property entirely have an issue, likely they have to find the property in somewhere else. So that's the indemnity clause. Now, because most of these contracts are being done by real estate companies, I've said it before, most of the contracts are always one-sided. There's nothing you can do about it. What I can do is what I'm doing right now, which is educate you guys about what you are signing, so I know what you are signing. So if you are not fine with it, you don't sign. Just as simple as that. The companies are not going to agree or allow you to bring your lawyer to sign the contract, unfortunately. So now, the indemnity clause, most times the companies don't really state specifically to what extent they are providing an indemnity. So, and sometimes also they will not make it clear how they are going to replace your loss on that property. Okay, you bought a property in Indulge, it's execution in view, execution in process. The company were unable to perfect the property, the title. The government came, chased you guys away, and then took up their property. Now, how will the company replace investors' loss? Likely, a lot of them will take you guys to Ekpe. The value of Ekpe and the value of Indulge are not the same. So you see. So, and that's why most times I tell you guys, don't buy execution in view. There is a lot of investors right now that are having issues with a particular property they bought 3 years ago till now that have not been allocated. The property is execution in view. It's even 2 issues now. Number one, the title of the property is not perfect. It's not even genuine. Secondly, they are not even being allocated. So they are fighting 2 battles. So the indemnity clause is also something that you have to be careful about. You have to look out for and try as much as possible for the company to be specific in terms of what they are going to be replacing, how they are going to be replacing your loss, and how they are going to determine the value of what they are going to be replacing with. It's not like you invested 4 million and then what the property that they are replacing your loss with is like 2 million. So you are making a loss. Alright, now lastly is the refund clause. So I have done a video already talking about the refund clause for real estate companies. For those that have not watched it, I will advise that you go back to my videos. You are definitely going to see the refund clause. Just check my playlist, real estate companies. I'm going to see refund clause by real estate companies. So you also have to go through the refund clauses. Some company that are going to charge you administrative fee and they refund you your money. Some are not going to refund you. They will put it there on the contract blatantly. No refund on deposits. So you can only bring in another buyer and then they refund you after the buyer have paid. They put it there. So you have it in mind. So when you are going to refund, you know the route to go to. And then another clause you also have to look out for is all these clauses by regulated companies about when you want to sell. Some are going to tell you that when you want to sell, they are going to charge a particular fee as perfection or documentation for the new owner. So you have to be familiar or aware with these things. And this, I'm laughing because it's a bit funny. There's one particular property, I'm not going to mention the name. The company have stated specifically that they are going to give you a particular duration to develop the property. If you don't develop the property within that specified duration, you must sell the property, and you can only sell that property to them, which is the company. You can't sell it to an outsider. And funnily, there are people that are buying that property. I don't know if a lot of them are aware about that clause. Not my business anyway. That's why I say I won't mention the company. So you have to just be familiar and be aware about these things so that you know what you are investing. You know if some of these contracts or these clauses are fine with you, and you don't go and sign a contract that you are later going to regret. So if there is any contract that you are about to sign, any particular contract by any property company that you likely maybe want me to review, you can drop a comment here, or you can reach me on WhatsApp. And if there's any particular clause that you have also come across from any particular company, I want me to explain what it means, the interpretation of this contract also, you can also reach me directly on WhatsApp. Remember, if you are buying any property from me, I will try as much as possible to educate you and explain these contracts for you. Even most of the videos I've done already about related clauses and related contracts, I've explained most of these clauses there. And by now, if you have followed my video very well, most of these contracts are going to be very, very easy for you to understand and also to interpret. So, but if there is any property that you are looking into, any location that you are looking into to invest, you can also always reach me. I sell properties. I sell houses and land. That's what I do for a living. I'm not a lawyer, so I don't draft contracts, I don't draft deeds. What I do is, you want to make money, you want to make an investment, okay, this is the perfect fit for you, this is the perfect location for you, and that's what I do for a living. So as you know, one property on the planet, your property advisor, your property consultant, a lot of people have been asking me, why have you not been doing adverts, your property adverts on this channel? That's simple. I don't want to mix up the objective of this channel. I created this channel specifically for real estate guides and real estate advice. So, and I'm going to keep it that way for now. So I'm not going to be sharing any adverts or sharing any really advert on any property that we sell here. So if you really want to know the property that we have, the property that we are selling, you can just reach me on WhatsApp. I will try as much as possible. Most of these properties are properties that we have verified, we have charted. So that's why it's always very easy for me to tell you that, okay, this is the status of this property, this is the status of this property, the title is perfect, the title is in view, is in process, and so on and so forth, because we verified it. So, assuming you're property on the planet, your property advisor, your property consultant, Rabi Mustafa, thanks once again for watching our videos, for learning a lot from them, for giving us thumb likes, for subscribing, for dropping comments, for coming to our DM, for giving us inquiries, for giving us referrals, for sharing my videos. I appreciate so much, and see you next time.